Will Chris MacClugage's late season charge carry him to a world title? Can Jeff Jacobs continue his domination of pro ski and win a 7th world championship? Will a second straight national crown help Rick Roy win his 2nd straight world title? We'll find out the answers to those questions as the International Jet Sport Boating Association's Skat-Trak World Finals come your way from beautiful Lake Havasu City, Arizona. Hi everybody, Ralph Shaheen alongside my color commentating partner Robbie Floyd for our coverage of the Skat-Trak World Finals from Lake Havasu City, Arizona. Riders from 35 countries, 750 plus of them, have made their way to Havasu to battle it out for world championships. Robbie, this is the one event everybody circles on the calendar. One of the hotly contested divisions we'll be watching today, 785 runabout.
Yeah, the 785 runabout, Nicholas Rios took home the national championship in the U.S. He's the French rider. He's trying to beat all the Americans. Look for Fischetti and MacClugage and those guys to play catch up a little bit. He wants that #1 plate.
Now that is a sit-down division. We'll also have action from one of the stand-up classes, pro ski.
Pro ski, another hot battle between Rob Flores and the winningest all-time rider in personal watercraft history, Jeff Jacobs. The Jammer's been unstoppable the past 2 years.
Speed is definitely why everybody comes to Lake Havasu, but style and grace plays a big part of this weekend. Freestyle, one of the most watched competitions on the weekend.
Right, these guys are going crazy out there. A lot of aerial maneuvers. Eric Malone pulling out some new stuff. Rick Roy, though, he won the world championship last year. No surprise, he's coming out with something new for 97.
World titles is why everybody is here. Let's take a look at the World Finals race course.
Well, on the starting line, it will be a counterclockwise racetrack. Again, the red buoys signify left turns, the yellow buoys signify right turns. We're on Greg Stewart's West Coast Performance boat down the front straightaway. Now, a half moon section of this one course. You see them circling around those yellow buoys. They'll set up for the left-hand turn, the orange buoy. And again, a lot of switchbacks to this course. It's a very long race course, very choppy. Working the right-hand portion of the course right now. The later on in the day, it's going to get very rough out there. Again, still working on the right-hand portion of the course. Very long. You get a lapped rider in front of you, it's going to be very difficult to pass. A few more turns. Now we'll take a right and then a left. And then we'll be heading down the back straightaway. Again, the orange buoy signifies the left turns. And a very fast and long back straightaway. A lot of top speed. And these riders are going to be pinning it, but they've also going to have to let off just a little bit to save their motors. At the end of this straightaway, again, a half section turn, and then you'll decide whether they take the inside or outside portion of the split. This time, Stewart, it looks like he's going to take the outside portion, takes the first yellow buoy, turns right, and it'll make a little bit longer down the front straightaway, but hopefully that switch will be a benefit for him, and he'll be able to make a pass coming down the front straightaway as you see him going down now.
A very fast, very challenging course here at Lake Havasu. This is a look at the manufacturer's midway, where if you're into personal watercraft, if you want it, it's in there somewhere. Now, we had an opportunity earlier to talk to 3 of the top names in the Pro Runabout 785s, find out what the keys are to winning today.
There's always the handful of guys that have been running fast all circuit long, so those guys will probably be the Team Butch, the Team Yamaha, the Team Kawasaki. You know, those guys are always fast, but anyone in front of me is in my way, so it doesn't matter who's on the track. If they're in front of me, they're a competition.
I think it's good. We need to have a very good boat, be consistent, try to run it strong. I'm gonna ride 110%. You know, stay focused. My family's there, but keep my mind on the track and my boat, still my mechanic and stuff, and just go from there.
The weather conditions have changed pretty drastically in the past couple of days. It's gotten a lot cooler, but you know, I think it just makes it easier when it gets colder if you train in the heat and get acclimated to that. You know, and then it gets colder, so it just makes it easier, I think.
Pro Runabout 785 set to go. That red rubber band will snap. The mechanics will drop the boats in the water, and we'll be off and racing. Off we go. Greg Stewart carrying our West Coast cam for us as we get underway. MacClugage with a tremendous hole shot. Now you're on board with Dustin Matsouras carrying our Yamaha wave cam as he tries to catch up to MacClugage. MacClugage on the inside, Matsouras on the outside. This is a split. Boy, look at that jump, Robbie.
Yeah, great start by the Reva Yamaha crew, and MacClugage and MacClugage out in front. Tim Judge and the Reva crew have to be stoked right now.
Pivoting around that red buoy, that boat turning nicely through the smooth water. It's going to get choppy here in a minute.
Yeah, the longer they go during this moto, it's going to get very rough. Havasu's been known for tough water, and you're going to want to set yourself apart from third, fourth, and the rest of the pack. And it looks like Fichetti's up there, too.
The number 10 of Chris MacClugage, Fischetti back in third.
Has to be pretty good for the young kid Montserrat being in second place. He's following his teammate MacClugage right now. You notice MacClugage starting to pull away a little bit.
You can hear him working across the back straightaway as they're on and off the throttle and the boat coming up and out of the water.
Oh, and look at Nicholas Rios now starting to move up a little bit on Fischetti, and they're going to take different sides of the splits. Now's the time when they're trying to figure out which line might be a little bit faster for them.
Well, you're not going to be able to waste much time because MacClugage is checking out. Here's Fischetti in third, just in front of the Frenchman Rios. As you take a look at the Polaris top 5, Fischetti is easy to spot. He's the one with the fish fins sticking off the top of his helmet. Rios runs in fourth, and Bill Pointer on the number 3 Yamaha rides back in fifth. A big crowd enjoying the day here at the Skat-Trak World Finals, and we're just underway. The 1997 Skat-Trak World Finals are brought to you by Skat-Trak Impellers, the world's #1 choice for high performance and superior quality products. By Sea-Doo Watercraft, for fun on the water, see your local Sea-Doo dealer. Everybody's doing it, Sea-Doo. And by Yamaha Watercraft, solid thinking for a liquid world. And the 1997 Skat-Trak World Finals continue. 785 Pro Runabout underway. Chris MacClugage dominating this one in the early stages. The Polaris top 5 hasn't changed much. Everybody pretty much holding their positions right now, Robbie.
Yeah, it looks like Fischetti might have lost his cowling right there. Might cause a little bit of a handling problem for him, too. He's getting a little bit more air. Might be better for the motor, but that boat's bound to handle a little bit different.
Let's take a look at what happened to the Flying Fish. The first boat coming at you. Wow, look at it come right off and almost hits him in the head.
That could have took him clean off the boat right there. Fish got a little bit lucky. A whole lot lucky, I guess you could say.
Well, that's where the experience comes into play, too. Chris Fischetti, the 1996 Pro Runabout 785 IJSBA National Champion, now calls Lake Havasu City home. Robbie Floyd had an opportunity to meet with the fish.
To say racers are a colorful cast of characters is an understatement, but the palette of 1996 world champion Chris Fichetti's personality runs the gamut of a Dennis Rodman hairdo. I finally got Fish to sit still long enough to get an insight into the man whose fun meter is always bouncing in the red. Terrorizing the streets of his hometown in Lake Havasu City, Arizona in his custom caddy, Chris took me for a white-knuckle ride. What do they say? Never get in a car with the racer, especially when he knows the roads.
Living here in Havasu has to be an advantage for you. You get to go home every night.
Yeah, no. Living here in Lake Havasu is definitely an advantage for the World Championships. When we first started riding jet skis, and now it's personal watercraft and racing for Sea-Doo, we came out here to practice and test a lot, and now we live here, and it's definitely a home court advantage. You got all your friends and family and everyone supporting you. It really gives it a big push, and maybe that's why I always do so well here at Lake Havasu.
Your family's real active in this sport. Your dad's your mechanic. Do you see that as an advantage?
Yeah, it's real tough. A lot of stress there between my parents, but my mom's supporting me, my dad's wrenching, and does whatever it takes to get the boats to be competitive. So that's really important.
Now, cross training, personal watercraft, there's a lot of things to do. I've seen you ride the mountain bike. What other things do you do?
Cross training is very important. The wakeboarding is really good. That's a good cross trainer. A little bit of skateboarding. I've had a skateboard and a skateboard ramp in my backyard since I was a little kid. So, that's a lot of fun. Mountain biking, a little gym, swimming. Of course, riding your Sea-Doo is always the best for what I do. Racing, you just want to be try and keep active and keep healthy and try and do a cross training sport that's not going to injure you.
Right. What are your other aspirations as far as racing? Do you want to keep it up after you get out of personal watercraft racing?
God, I'd like to think that I've attained the top level here in personal watercraft racing in my 10 or 12 years of racing, and I think that might be some other kinds of racing in my future, and I'm ready to go there. So hopefully we'll see that Chris Fischetti was a top watercraft racer and maybe top auto racer too. It's hard to say.
Boy, Robbie, I tell you, I don't think I've ever seen Chris Fischetti so reflective in my life.
Yeah, he's got a lot of things on his mind right now. Personal problems, a Sea-Doo cutting back on the racing program. It's been a tough year in 1997, but I look for Fish back in 98.
And he's got Nicholas Rios on him, too, who just went around him, so things not getting any easier as Fish now slips back to fourth.
Fischetti, he had to be wondering where Rios come from. Rios is going to be very aggressive at the first part of the race. Again, especially if you see MacClugage and the other Riva Yamaha of Matsura starting to pull away. Rios knows he has to make the move quickly.
Look at Rios power through that lap. Now we go back up front with your leader, Chris MacClugage on the Riva Yamaha. He has been out front and just smoking the field. Now we're going to hold this here, and we'll see the interval back to second. There goes MacClugage across from left to right, and now coming at you is second place.
Unbelievable. That's his teammate right there. We know he's been fast. He's had a couple of top threes on the national tour, but as we look at Dustin Matsuris on the Riva Yamaha, he's just not quite up to the pace of his teammate MacClugage, but he's still in second, doing a great job.
That Yamaha wave cam giving you some fantastic pictures here today. 785 Pro Runabout, and it's Chris MacClugage out front. We'll come back to Lake Havasu to see if he can hang on. Welcome back to the Skat-Trak World Finals, and just before the racing got underway, the crowd was entertained by the Body Glove Wakeboard Classic exhibition, which was fantastic. Chris Bischoff, Charlie Patterson, and Brandon Meek, Robbie, put on quite a show.
Yeah, the crowd really loved it. It shows you, the personal watercraft industry, they're starting to tow, these wakeboarders behind personal watercraft, and that seems to be where it's headed, not just the big boats like you've seen in the past. These guys caught some really big air, had a great time out there, putting on a show for the crowd, and glad to have them out there.
So the Body Glove Wakeboard Classic, one of the activities that's a big part of Skat-Trak World's final weekend. Now the Kawasaki Jet Ski Skycam bringing you this angle as Dustin Matsuris screams across Lake Havasu. He's in second place on the other Riva Yamaha. Here's a look at our Polaris top five, and you can see that Fischetti falling right out of it, but Victor Sheldon and Punchard sliding up. Rios out of the top five as well.
Yeah, it looks like Nicholas Rios missed a buoy, went over the top of the buoy. They caught him, and they're going to dock him a lap. He's really going to have to do some charge if he's going to get in the 5 or 10. You look at him in third, but it's no can do for him right now. He's got to pass a lot of people to work up.
Season in 785 Pro Runabout. And the boat has been very quick today. Just a mental mistake.
Right, it's one of those cases where he probably didn't know whether he missed it or not. If you come over the top of it, it's a decision you have to make right then. You might lose one position, but it's better to go pick it up because now he lost basically about 17 positions, and there's really hardly any way you're going to make that up.
Well, and you can see how difficult it is from this angle right here from our Yamaha wave cam. Look at the spray getting kicked up on our lens. The same thing hitting that lens is hitting these riders in the face. You can see the glare coming off the water, and the buoys just come up out of nowhere all of a sudden.
Right.
So it's very easy to miss one.
Yeah, even though it's not salt water, this fresh water, it's coming at you at 60 miles an hour. These guys are flying on this track. It's hard to see, and those buoys don't move either. It's pretty tough. It's like a boxing match.
And you hit a bad wave, it's like a baseball taking a bad hop as it comes at you. You don't know where it's going to go or where it's going to throw you. The glare is really getting to me today, too, as I look. It's hard when you're standing on the shoreline to realize how much glare there is off the water until you get out on it. The other thing, Robbie, is this water's cold today.
Yeah, the water's starting to get colder. The outside temperature, some of these guys are coming off after practice and their teeth are chattering. That's not what you expect from the Lake Havasu City area, and that's desert we're talking about.
It's been beautiful all weekend, but temperatures in the 70s today, which might be beautiful for anybody watching today in South Dakota. But here at Lake Havasu City, well, that's cold down here. Usually on World Finals weekend, it'd be over 100 degrees.
Yeah, the Shirtworks booth definitely going to be selling out on long sleeve shirts today, and they seem to be hot items. Look how fast the Riva Yamaha is going. Matsuris, that helicopter's having a hard time keeping up with it.
Everything's nice when you're out front sailing along. Although he still runs in second place, his teammate Chris MacClugage, definitely the man to beat. Big problems here for one of the women.
Yeah, it looks like Kareem Patterell, she's trying to get her boat started. She's down there at the ignition switch. Looks like Peter Bothwell, one of our course marshal, making sure she's all right, and he'll be keeping her safe on the track.
Dustin Matsouras working that big 785, and he's a little guy, Robbie, and he almost looks like he doesn't fit on this thing, but he rides it like a much bigger man.
Yeah, and this is his first year in the runabouts also. He rode stand-ups as well as a sport class and expert last year. This year, not doing too bad. Finished in the top 10 on the national tour, and he's in second right now in the World Championships.
You can see our onboard camera looks like a headlight mounted on the Riva Yamaha.
Yeah, those things take a beating too.
A white flag is out, and there's a look at Chris MacClugage, who's working his way through the buoys in front of the crowd here.
Yeah, it's really hard to tell the difference between MacClugage and Matsouras. You know, the only way to tell, you know, they have identical boats basically, is the white outfit of MacClugage and Matsouras with the darker colors.
MacClugage working his way across the right side of the race course. This camera mounted on a houseboat out on the water as he works his way out towards the boat, and then he'll hang a turn here and make his way across the long back straightaway.
Yeah, Mac, it looks like he's trying to save the motor a little bit. He has a big lead over his teammate Matsouras right now. Don't want to do any mistakes. Last year it cost him in the sport finals, or the runabout actually. The last lap, Fischetti was able to make the pass. Threw off the seat. There's nothing to do. Look, he's just day at the park right now for MacClugage.
Nothing wrong with Chris MacClugage's boat. He is just taking it easy, saving his equipment, because this is just Moto 1. He's got to come back and do it again to wrap up the world title. We'll be back to Lake Havasu in the Skat-Trak World Finals right after these messages. Stay with us. Welcome back to the IJSBA Skat-Trak World Finals. The 1997 Pro Runabout 785s, and Moto number 1 is complete. Robbie Floyd with the winner.
Well, Chris, you got the whole shot award. A great start out there.
Yeah, I owe it all to my sponsors, Yamaha and Riva. I mean, and my two mechanics there, Tim and Darren. I mean, it's obvious. I mean, what two boats whole shot of that race? I mean, the boats are incredible. It's just, you know, now it's up to me.
That was just Moto number 1. He's going to have to come back and do it to him again in Moto 2 to wrap up the world title. Here's the top 5. Now look at the back half of this. You'll see Fischetti falls all the way to 10th due to his problems, and Rios disappears because he missed that buoy, Robbie.
Right, Rios missed the buoy. It dropped him out of contention. He's going to have to charge hard that second moto.
Well, 785 runabouts on the shoreline. That means Pro Ski is up next, the traditional style.
Yes, the stand-ups. These are the big boys. They're coming at it again, just like the National Tour. The Jammer, Jeff Jacobs, Rob Flores. Who's going to take it? We saw it all year long. Now it's just one weekend.
Jeff Jacobs won his second straight Pro Ski national title earlier this year, claiming it in 96 and 97, and we've got highlighted coverage for you today of this event. This is Moto number 1 for Pro Ski.
Right, Derek Kapler, a really fast rider, had a tough time on the National Tour. He was out in front for a while, but you know, Kapler, he had a hard time staying up. He's on the new Whammer jet, a little bit different boat, longer. It's a super jet, but a little bit of modifications, and he had problems in this log jump.
That's him on the all-white number 4 out front, and Jacobs giving chase as they go over the body glove double jump. You see how Jacobs runs right up the tray.
Right, Kapler just did some swapping in front of him. Jeff really didn't have anywhere to go, held his line, and caught up to him very quickly.
Now Jacobs out front on the Yamaha. And he's going to have his own problems on this day. He misses a buoy right here and has to double back.
Yeah, you know, you don't see Jeff make mistakes like that very often. You know, he's trying to relax everything out there, and lapped riders cause a problem.
Like you see him telling the guy, get out of my way! Guess he's not going to send him any Christmas cards this year.
No. Jeff, it looks like he's just riding so smooth out there. He does it again.
It took a lot of work, but Jeff Jacobs was able to get the win in Moto number 1. Moto number 2, Rob Flores on the green and white Kawasaki out front, chasing him from Italy, Jimmy Bazzio, and Jacobs behind him on the blue and white Yamaha.
Flores has to be loving it right now out in front. He finished third the first moto. He needs somebody to finish between him and Jacobs if he's going to finish number 1. It looked good for one lap, but look what happens, Ralph.
Right here at the body glove double jump, Pazio submarines in front of Jacobs.
Almost takes out the Jammer, keeps the boat running, and he's going to try and finish respectable.
Then Jacobs on that blue and white Yamaha all over the Kawasaki of Flores, as these two would battle it out throughout this one. And everybody at some point in time in this one, Robbie, would have a problem.
Yeah, Flores' new jammer was on his tail. It's a lot of pressure on him right now.
You see Flores bobble right there, but Jacobs not able to capitalize. However, over the body glove double jump, watch the second boat. Jacobs goes down and then face plants into the boat.
Listen to the crowd, too. They were wanting some excitement to happen, and there it does. Look, Campler moves into second. That's what Flores is looking for.
Now watch the replay of this. This is gonna hurt. Over the first one, he loses it, falls out of the tray, and then watch his head. Bam!
Oh, man.
Right on the handlebars.
You notice one thing, he did not let go of the boat.
But then Kapler goes down at the same spot. That body glove double jump causing a lot of problems for the competitors today. Down to the last lap, Flores and Jacobs going at it again. Flores over the first one, and then he submarines.
Can you believe it? Both Jacobs and Flores going down on that one. Kapler, the top three, total mayhem.
A look at it again, the boat on the right. Flores over the first one, struggles at the second one, and right into the lake.
Just couldn't get the back end of the boat over that log jump, and it really cost him. It shot him straight down. You got to see what the bottom of Lake Havasu looked like.
One more look. I guess the first one okay. The second one hurt.
Oh, straight down.
And Jacobs almost lost it trying to avoid him.
Look at Jeff. He's turned around. He says, I have no more competition. He's even got the little mascot on his helmet, too.
Just to be sure that he actually did win it, Jacobs took an extra lap before he even took his victory lap. Here he is with Robbie.
I was kind of depressed about my log jump exhibition out there. I just couldn't get with it over those log jumps today, and maybe that's why I did that extra lap. Maybe I want to just redeem myself. I don't know.
Now, Jeff Jacobs, you've won 7 world and national titles, the winningest rider in personal watercraft history. Your dad had no idea. He thought you were going to be a comedian when you were growing up.
Well, when I was growing up, I was just trying to stay out of trouble. And, going through school, I didn't know what I wanted to do. But, fortunately for my family and I, we got into this great sport a long time ago, back in '84. And, like you're saying, I never dreamed of becoming, seven-time national world champion. I just kind of went out and had fun and tried to do the best that I can do. And I can't believe where I'm standing right now, 7 national world titles. It just goes to show what a lot of help and support. And not just me, but it goes for everybody, Riva, Yamaha, and all the people who have supported me and given me the opportunity throughout the years. And to be standing here and to be able to thank them all, and it's great.
120 career victories, 7 national championships, 7 world titles. Not bad for the kid from El Cajon, California. Now it's time for freestyle.
Yeah, a lot of competitors from all over the world here at the Skat-Trak World Finals. This is the guy who had to start it off in the pro freestyle. Kilowatt Kenneth Wood. You don't want that #1 pick because the judges base everybody's scores off of yours, and it's very hard to get really good scores. Kenneth did a great job. He still finished in 4th. He won his first tour round this year, I believe it's San Diego. We also check out our English contingent, Mark Curtis from Dartford, England, a great competitor. The crowd really liked him as well. And then there's the old faithful, Lloyd Berlew, Showtime. This guy exemplifies the word showtime. He has a great time for the crowd, shows how much balance he has over the boat, pulls out a lot of the ballet type moves.
Lloyd Berlew, the 1994 national champion.
When the Skat-Trak World Finals, everybody pulls out a lot of new moves, something that you don't see on their respective national tours, whether in Europe or Asia or the United States, and boy, they all come out big here. Douglas Carvalho, we've seen, look how violent that one was. It still was not enough. He only finished 3rd, but man, that was tough. The Brazilian doing the fish walk out there after Chris Fischetti. And look, a new flavor, a rider out there on the Tiger Shark does the kilowatt flop, but we're seeing pro freestyle and a rider on the runabout. It's much like the racing has turned to.
And the power and grace of freestyle as well. Incorporating a lot of ballet and gymnastic moves. This was one of my favorites.
Oh, and look at that camera shot. How much roost is he throwing up right now?
Well, Rick Roy, certainly the favorite.
The Canadian, he won the national championship. He's trying to make it world championship #2. And, he was definitely the crowd favorite. He had Super Rick t-shirts. Jet Pilot put those out. And again, look at him coming up with new moves, coming up out of the tray, no hands. Rick went big this time.
The last 3 IJSBA Big Red Jet Sport Tour National Championships went to Rick Roy, looking for his 2nd world title this year.
Yeah, Rick has a lot of fans all over the world, probably the most publicized of any racer in the personal watercraft industry right now, just because he is so dramatic, very flashy. He looks sharp, he's a great guy, and he's a fireman during his regular job in Montreal, Canada.
New paint scheme and a new suit as well.
Yeah, they bring out, they cut all the stops here. It flips around backwards. They have the shiniest boats, the best wetsuits they can find. You don't want to spray the crowd out there too much today. It was a little bit chilly. Might have cost him a little bit, but Rick's just having a great time. A smile stays on his face the entire time.
Total control over his machine. Rick Roy, the reigning national and world champion.
Look at him, one-handed, 180 nose stab, comes back out of it. Again, he's an innovator of so many tricks. The Bronco Billy, but now look at him. He's steering the boat, kneeling up on the handle pole, no hands. That's something we've never seen before. And Rick pulling out all the stops here at the World Finals. But the question is, Ralph, will it be good enough?
Well, you certainly had to think so after he was done, because it was another spectacular performance, but Eric came out gunning for him.
Yeah, Eric Malone won his first national stop at Dallas, Texas, pulled off that move you saw just a moment ago, the no-handed aerial barrel roll. A very tough trick, and so far we still haven't seen anybody else in the world try it. And Eric, again, just like Rick, he's going to pull out some new tricks, and everybody's expecting, Eric to come up with something big. He's the newcomer, Kenneth Wood. He's taking over kind of positions you saw Lloyd Berlew or Mark Sickerling in the past.
Sliding over the nose of the boat, twisting it around.
Showing you just how much control he has over that boat. Hops back up in the tray, comes up one-handed. Looks like he's trying to set up for a Hollywood corkscrew.
The only rider who could have taken the spot away from Rick Roy at the top of the board. And Eric did not let anybody down. He had a very seamless performance.
Right, he's showing you both aspects. The ballet type moves right there, very good balance. He almost made a bobble right there and almost lost, the boat a little bit to his right. Regained his composure, and everything went smooth. A lot of people counted him as the favorite just by how good he was on the Big Red Jet Sport Tour. Look at him throwing a different move there, the kilowatt flop. We saw other riders do it. He throws a different variable, kind of throws it around like a bicycle.
Well, he had one more trick up his sleeve, and was it ever a big one? Watch this. Double trouble. Unbelievable.
Look at him. He knows he did it, his last trick of the routine.
Unbelievable power, height, speed, and strength as Eric wins the world title.
We're going to have a pretty big pro class next year. I'm definitely shooting for the national title as long as the world. So the national is my next goal in mind.
Eric Malone, the 1997 Skat-Trak World Finals champ. We'll crown the 785 Pro Runabout titleist when we return. One of the largest crowds of the Skat-Trak World Finals, not for the racing, the bikini contest. Always one of the more popular attractions here in the Havasu City area on Skat-Trak World Finals weekend. This was not the winner.
How did he get in there?
After the voting was completed, I gotta tell you, my buddy Robbie Floyd somehow weaseled his way in. In fact, the entire television crew made crew call for this one, no problem. Krista Mullen was the winner. Look at Robbie working the deal down there. I don't know, Floyd, somehow you got to get me in on that next year. Pro Runabout 785 Moto 2 coming up. We had an opportunity to talk to the men who spin the wrenches about how to win this.
Like Havasu is a one-shot race. It's the rider's race. Just go as fast as you can go and have a good time.
What do you think about Montserrat's chances? Even though it's his first year as pro, he looks pretty good on the Reba Yamaha.
This is Havasu, man. Anything goes in Havasu.
Well, Chris MacClugage was the one who went in Moto #1, and he went in a big ways. He dominated that one. Dustin Matsouras, giving chase to him, was never able to reel him in. We'll have to see what happens here in Moto #2. The boats with the impellers up out of the water, set to go. We're underway. screaming across the lake. Look at everybody fanning out as we take a look from the Kawasaki Jet Ski Skycam.
Now you see why that split course is so important in the glare. Look how much of a problem it's causing those riders the later part of the afternoon.
From the inside and the outside lanes, and the Riva Yamaha out front again. MacClugage with another great start. Chris Fischetti giving chase once again. Now we saw him fall back in the earlier heat. We'll see if he can hang on this time. Now Dustin Matsuras, the South African rider, rides in third place.
Right, Fischetti had some problems that first moto. I'm sure Pops and him got things corrected. He's going to get a hard charge this second moto. Don't count Fish out for winning moto number 2. He might not get the overall, but he's still a very fierce competitor.
Matsuras giving us the look from the Yamaha wave cam as he tries to catch Fischetti just in front of him. Pops Fischetti, Chris's dad, is the man that spins the wrenches on his boat. Here we go along that long back straightaway. There you see the gap from MacClugage as he hangs the left, and there's Fischetti. Chris lives here, rides the lake all the time, so when it comes to winning at Havasu, he knows all the tricks, as he told us earlier in the day.
A lot of sweeping turns that you need to carry your speed, not turn too tight, all through the track. So it's that, you know, depending on the water condition, and if someone's close in front of you, they really mess up the lines that you need to get. So stay out in front, get smooth water, and try not to make any mistakes.
Chris doing a pretty good job of not making any mistakes right now as he holds on to second place over Dustin Matsuras, who rides in third, but he can't seem to make up any ground on MacClugage.
Well, you heard him saying, get the whole shot and try and pull away while you have clean water. That's what MacClugage is doing right now. Fischetti in the little bit rougher water. He's having to go through some of the chop that MacClugage is, you know, resulting off of his boat, but right now Fish also can't go in that same way because it might cost him time.
One name missing from that Polaris top 5 is still Rios. I'm surprised about that.
Yeah, Rios, I could not even tell you. He's probably so aggressive that first moto, disappointed back in the pits. Who knows right now? Nicholas, he won that national championship. He knows the world championship's out of his reach right now.
Dustin Matsuras, though, he's still in the hunt. He rides in third, trying to make up ground on Chris Fischetti.
And there's a young kid, again, his first year as a pro. I mean, I can't emphasize it enough. This kid has been so fast. His first year aboard a runabout. He rode sport and stand-up last year. What's in the future for this kid?
You see him banging his way around the buoys. And he's carrying our Yamaha wave cam. It's a little contraption that looks like a headlight mounted to the front of his Riva Yamaha, and that's Chris Fischetti just in front of him, and he's making ground up on him.
Yeah, he's closing in. He might be new to the pro ranks, but he still knows racing right now. Fish, he had problems that first moto. Maybe he's having problems this second moto. I don't know. Only time will tell.
Remember, red buoys are lefts, yellow buoys are rights. This is the back straightaway.
And look at Matsuras going to the inside that time, just trying to get a different line than Fischetti, not having to run in his wake.
There's a look back to Bill Pointer, who rides in fourth. He's been in the top 5 in both motos. Bill Pointer, who moved over to Yamaha from Kawasaki.
Yeah, Pointer doing a great job. He was the 1200 world champion. He finally won his world championship title as a pro for the Greater Yamaha team, so he knows what it takes to win. He's trying to get a top 3 right now, too, and that puts 3 out of the top 4 on Yamahas also.
And Pointer definitely making up ground on Matsuras. Look at him really scoot through that section.
Yeah, Pointer's fast. He's out of Laguna Niguel, California, and don't count him out.
The IJSBA Skat-Trak World Finals will continue with moto number 2 for the 785 Pro Runabout. Stay with us. One of the more unusual views for the IJSBA Skat-Trak World Finals would be from high atop of it. And we have our own high top perch provided by the Kawasaki Jet Ski Skycam. 785 Pro Runabout continuing. It's Chris Fischetti, the man right there, gives chase from second place, trying to catch Chris MacClugage, who continues to lead.
Right, Fischetti just trying to do anything right now to catch up with MacClugage. Basically, smoothness is the only thing Fish can do right now. Just ride his race. He's been so fast for so many years. He's not going to pull any special trick out of the hat or anything. He's just going to go as fast as he can and be as smooth as he can and hope for a bobble by MacClugage.
Now, finally, Nicholas Rios makes his way into the top 5. As you take a look at our Polaris top 5, that's about the only change in there. Now we go on board the West Coast cam. This one provided by Greg Stewart.
Yeah, Greg really not having much luck. Just barely inside the top 10 right now on that West Coast Performance boat. And look at that glare. See, he missed a buoy right there. That glare is a problem, especially in that one left-hand turn.
Boy, it is horrible right there. That's where you come right back at the main grandstand. And there is our leader, Chris MacClugage. No problems with glare, buoys, or anything else for him today.
You know, talking about smooth, look at Mac out there. He's looking on lapped riders. It looks like maybe Houston Evans or one of the other riders just in front of him. Now, if you're a lapped rider, you see a blue flag, it means there's a race going on, you're not in it, get out of the way. That's what those riders should do. Usually you'll see them raise their right hand up, letting those riders by.
Chris MacClugage out of Naples, Florida. Oh, you gotta be careful there. He almost went through that buoy. And that's what he's got to be careful of, is not making any mental mistakes with lapped riders or dealing with the glare or missing a buoy. That's the only thing at this point that could trip him up. It's basically his race to lose. Now here's Victor Sheldon. A name that we haven't talked much about today, but a name that has been heard over the PA system here at Havasu for many, many years.
Right, the 95 785 national champion. You notice the number 1 on his back of his wetsuit. That's the 1200 national number he held from last year. It's going to be one of the last times he gets to wear it. But the Kawasaki rider is still giving it 110%. He's a big crowd favorite.
Well, we had an opportunity to talk to the guys at Kawasaki about how these personal watercraft work and what makes them so fast.
Unlike most conventional vehicles that use a transmission or gears to drive their vehicles, the Kawasaki jet ski watercraft basically uses the water to propel the vehicle. The water's sucked up underneath the boat. It's sucked into an impeller. Now, an impeller basically very similar to a propeller, but the impeller, we're sucking the water in. The impeller is turned by the engine. The force of the water that the impeller produces is forced through a nozzle. The nozzle we call an exit nozzle. The water's forced through the nozzle at a very high pressure, very similar to a fire hose. So unlike conventional vehicles that have transmissions or gear ratios, and especially in racing applications, you'll see the automotive industry, they're changing gears and rear ends. Well, on the jet ski watercraft vehicles, what we do, we change nozzle sizes that varies the pressure of the water, varies the RPM of the engine, and then we change impellers. We change the pitch. We give bigger pitch to give us more grunt. We take away pitch to give us more RPMs.
There's a little bit of give and take, you know. I mean, you have to, you know, if you want a lot of bottom end, you know, you're going to sacrifice some top speed. But, you know, I think that, you know, you can get it pretty close to work, you know, the whole way around.
Our current engines, we're running about 8,000 RPMs, so we try to get the nozzle and the pitch to match that RPM. We also have to watch the track. The guys will ride in practice and watch the tack. If they're accelerating so hard and exceeding the tack too quick before they get to the corner, we'll have to change the pitch so we can basically have the guys run longer before the engines top out. So very similar to changing a gear to get your top end speed.
Some of the trade secrets of making a personal watercraft go fast, and Victor Sheldon using all of the knowledge he has to get his Kawasaki jet ski maybe up into the top 5 here today in Moto number 2. Back on board with Greg Stewart on the West Coast cam.
It looks like Greg's trying to get by last year's expert world champion, Blake Schmeltz, the son of owner of Big Red Racing, and it looks like Greg gets by him. Greg, a former four-wheeler pro racer. You know, he's adapted very well to the personal watercraft scene. Look for him in years to come.
High over our leader once again, Chris MacClugage, having no problems. Screaming across the backside of the course. Wide open.
Yeah, it appears wide open. He's probably letting off every now and then, and look how fast he's going. You know, while he's doing, he's probably letting off, saving that motor just a little bit. Look how long that back straightaway is, and they're basically in a train formation.
Now this is where he'll be coming right into the glare. You can see it staring right into his face. This one almost complete. Pro Runabout 785s will wrap up Moto number 2, and we'll crown a world champion when we come back to Havasu. Maybe a future world champion right here. Chris MacClugage might be a world champion too if he can hold on a little while longer. 785 Pro runabout's just about done. Look at Bill Pointer on the white boat just in front of Nicholas Rios, and this is a hot fight going on in the middle of the top 5. Now, they have caught up to Dustin Montsuris as well.
Yeah,
3 riders going at it.
Look at Pointer. He's just swapping back and forth. He doesn't want Rios by him, and Rios goes to the inside.
Rios just stuffed him in that corner.
Pointer was swapping, trying to take the line. It's hard passing when you have a guy swapping in front of you, but Rios still able to stick a boat on the inside and make the pass.
Well, we talked about it earlier. There's Rios on the number 8, the white and yellow boat. We said at the beginning of Moto number 2 here that where's Nicholas Rios? I mean, a guy who dominated this class all season long in the Big Red Jet Sport National Tour. You knew he couldn't be quiet too long today.
No, he got a bad start, had to work his way up. But, now can he move up into that other position just in front of him? Dustin Montsuris, he's going to be a little bit tougher. Nicholas takes the outside, Dustin takes the inside split.
Well, how about this for a thought as these two battle it out? Had Rios not missed that buoy in Moto number 1, he might have come out of that with a strong finish in the top 5. And as he is going after Dustin Montsuris here, if he gets around him, that would put him in at least 3rd in Moto number 2. Maybe he might have made the World Championship.
I don't know, Ralph. That's a big world of ifs right there. If he just wouldn't have missed that buoy, who knows? Nicholas Rios looks like he's the fastest rider out on the track, but he's still got to get by Montsuris if he's going to work up in that top 3.
I don't think that's going to be much longer because he is really applying the pressure to Montsuris. And Montsuris is spending more time looking over his shoulder than looking ahead right now.
Yeah, any racer will tell you that's one thing you don't want to do is look over your shoulder. Just as you look left, somebody will come by you on the right. As we take a look on Montsuris' boat right now, I still don't see Rios to either side of him, so he's doing a good job.
Let's see how much power that Riva Yamaha has in the open water. Well, he's able to motor away from him there and gain a little breathing room. Rios on the Sea-Doo, the Team Butch entry, and the Riva Yamaha of Dustin Montsuris battling it out for 2nd place.
Just one little bobble by Rios that time, and look at the gap that Montsuris put in between him. Again, anything can happen out there. How smooth you are. You see MacClugage, you see Fischetti, they're riding smooth. Look, Montsuris hits a buoy right there. Those things are heavy. They can knock you off just as easy as you can bounce around them.
Well, Montsuris seems to make up a lot of ground when they get into the big horsepower sections of the racetrack. MacClugage, he's had no problems anywhere. The white flag is out. One more lap, and Chris MacClugage, if he can hang on, will be crowned the 1997 Skat-Trak World Finals champion.
Mac, again, we saw him let off in that first moto. Well, this is the last race of the year for him. He's going to keep that thing clamped. I can just about guarantee you this entire 2nd moto, it's no good to him after this race. This is the end of the season.
He just doesn't need to make a mistake. Chris Fischetti still trying to catch him from 2nd place. Yeah, he's taking a nice wide line around all the buoys, making sure he doesn't make any mental errors anywhere.
Yeah, he definitely doesn't want to hook an edge because it'll toss you over the bars so quickly, like a bull rider basically, just throws you right over the handlebars. Goes down that back straightaway, look at him stretching his back. He's in perfect attack formation, and he's got to do the split one more time, and we've got a world champion.
Making sure he doesn't abuse the motor. Keep it running all the way to the finish. One more time into the glare as well as he works his way through the final time through the split.
What's going through Mac's head right now?
There it is, the 1997 Skat-Trak World Finals Championship 785 Pro runabout goes to Chris MacClugage. The 1997 Skat-Trak World Finals were brought to you by Skat-Trak Impellers, the world's #1 choice for high performance and superior quality products. By Tiger Shark, one ride and nothing else matters. And by Kawasaki Jet Ski Watercraft. Call 1-800-661-RIDE for a dealer near you. Well, the 1997 World Finals Championship has been wrapped up in Pro Runabout 785. Chris MacClugage will claim the championship. Dustin Montsuris gave a good chase, but he'll have to settle for 2nd. Here's Robbie Floyd with our winner.
You got, a little bit behind in the national tour, but you focused all on this world title. Congratulations.
Yeah, I just want to thank my sponsors, Yamaha and Riva, and my mechanics, Tim and Darren. They just made the boat haul for this weekend. We got a 3rd in the 1200 class, but we got a little problems over the tour on the 785 class and came to this weekend, with one goal in mind, and that was to win the World Championship, and we did it this weekend.
The crowd seemed to be behind you big time. You had to be happy with Montserrat and both Pointer in the top 3 all on Yamaha.
Yeah, it's a good day for Yamaha. Really good.
the Tim Judge, he was nervous back there. He had 2 of his boys out in front.
Yeah, I don't know. He probably peed his pants or something. I don't know. I'm just proud, you know, to make those guys happy.
Well, the 785 Pro Runabout top 10 looks like this. Now, this is after the completion of both motos. MacClugage, Montserrat, the top 2, and Bill Pointer did a nice job coming home 3rd.
Right, Punchy finished 4th. Fischetti disappointing 6th place. Farthing, another disappointment. Clivestein, the Canadian, Frank Romero round out the top 10.
Well, here's a look at the rest of the world champions that were crowned here at the 1997 Skat-Trak World Finals. Nicholas Rios did get himself a world championship at Caban Pro Sport.
Pro-Am Women Runabout went to Kareem Pacharel. Tara Krisman won the Pro-Am Women Ski. Pointer, great job in the 1200 Runabout. He won that. We saw the Pro Freestyle champion, Eric Malone. Pro Ski, the Jammer, Jeff Jacobs. Ralph, just unstoppable.
And Chris MacClugage, the 785 Pro Runabout titleist. Well, what'd you think of the 1997 Skat-Trak World Finals?
A world of ifs. If these guys wouldn't have missed buoys, who knows, would have won the 785, the 1200. Anything can happen. We had a great week. Sunny, got a little bit chilly, but you can't beat the Skat-Trak World Finals.
Well, all it does is set up the storylines for the 1998 IJSBA Big Red Jet Sport National Tour, which will be kicking off in just a couple of months. For Robbie Floyd, I'm Ralph Shaheen. So long from the Skat-Trak World Finals.